Good morning to all. Today we are going to discuss about next three physicochemical properties. So last class we discussed the first three, that means solubility, ionization, partition coefficient. So today we are planning to discuss next three physicochemical properties. So before going that, once again we have to see that definitions. So here the ability of chemical compounds to elicit an pharmacological or therapeutic effect is related to the various physicochemical properties of chemical substance on the biomolecules that it interacts with each other. So once again, the ability of chemical compounds to elicit their pharmacological or therapeutic effects related to the influence of physicochemical properties of the particular chemical substance on the whole molecule. So, and it is react with each other is the pharmaceutical properties. Already we have discussed two types of properties. One is physical properties, and one is chemical properties. These physical properties of drug is responsible for its action. At the same time, chemical properties. This type of drugs react extracellularly according to the simple chemical reactions like nucleation, chelation, and oxidation, etc. So last class we discussed about classification. So three type of classification. One is physical, another one is chemical properties, last one is stereo aspect classification. So here as per syllabus we have 9 physical properties. First three already we discussed in last class. Next three, that means hydrogen bonding, protein binding, chelation. Today we have to discuss. So coming to this hydrogen bonding, the hydrogen bond is a special dipole-dipole interaction between the hydrogen atoms in a polar solvents, polar bonds such as nitrogen with hydrogen, oxygen with hydrogen, or fluorine with hydrogen, and electronegativity atoms such as oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, and fluorine atoms. On another hand, we can see that atoms which are capable of forming hydrogen bonds are hydronegativity atoms. This includes fluorine, chlorine, nitrogen, oxygen, and sulfur. So, dipoles interaction results from unequal sharing of electrons between atoms within a covalent bond. So, here I have given an example that oxygen, that is O bond hydrogen dot O. The dot line indicating that weak bonds. Another example is NH bond H dot O. That means this also dot line. This covalent bond is a weak bond known as hydrogen bond. The compounds that are capable of forming hydrogen bonding is only soluble in water. When the compound is soluble in water, producing hydrogen bonding. Maybe it is a weak bond. So we can keep dot dot dot. It's called weak bonds. It means hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding we can classify into two major categories. One is intermolecular hydrogen bonding, other one is intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Here, intermolecular hydrogen bonding is nothing but inter, that means international. You have to think that international. Between two molecules is called inter. Intramolecular, so within the molecule. So one molecule in that formation of bond, hydrogen bond formation is called intramolecular formation. First we'll discuss about intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So already discussed that inter means between two molecules. Bond formation between two molecules or different compounds is called intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Due to this, increase the boiling point of the compound and increase the molecular weight of the compound. So hence more energy is required to dissociate the molecule for evaporation. So actual point is so you have to one compound you have to evaporate. For that we need to increase boiling point and increase molecular weight. If it is both are increased, automatically energy will be more. The energy is more, automatically compound will be dissociate. For example, here I have given two water molecule. First example is two water molecule. Two water molecule is nothing but two different water plus water. So two water groups combine to form one bond. This is called intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So another example, ammonia with ammonia. So two ammonium groups forming new bond. So intermolecular form. Another one is water plus ammonia. Next one is ammonia with water same. Next one is hydrogen fluoride with ammonia. Last one is hydrogen fluoride with ammonia. So between two molecules, bond formation between two molecules called intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Next one is intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So if the bond formation between, not between, only one compound, within a compound in formation of bond is called intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding occurs within two atoms of the same molecule. So within a molecule, formation of two atoms, between two atoms, this is called intramolecular hydrogen bonding. This type of bond is known as chelation and frequently occurs in organic compounds. So mainly organic compounds produce bond formation. This is called chelation. This bond is called as intramolecular hydrogen bond. Sometimes hydrogen bond develops 6 or 5 member rings due to decreased boiling point. Sometimes some compounds having less boiling point, so it produce hydrogen bonding. Maybe in occurs in 5 or 6 bond member ring. For example, I have given here salicylic acid. So salicylic acid only one molecule, but between two atoms, that means hydrogen atom and oxygen atom. In middle we have this dot line. It's indicating that hydrogen bonding within a molecule between two atoms. This is called intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Another example is orthonitrophenol. So orthonitrophenol, nothing but here only one compound. In the one compound between two atoms, formation of bond. And this form we can call intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So an example here, 1-phenyl-3-methyl-5-pyrazolone shows no analytic properties, while 1-phenyl-2,3-dimethyl-5-pyrazolone is called antipyrine, is a well-known analgesic agent. On another hand, antipyrine cannot form hydrogen bonding and has only comparatively weak attraction force between its molecule, hence can cross the CNS producing analgesic effect. So before that, analgesic activity. So one phenyl 2 the dimethyl 5 also has analgesic activity because of formation of new bond. Next example is salicylic acid. Salicylic acid nothing but orthohydroxybenzoic acid. It has appropriable antibacterial activity, but the para isomer of para hydroxybenzoic is inactive, as well as meta hydroxybenzoic is also inactive, because salicylic acid is orthoisomer that can form intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So the para is indicating that para and meta isomer of hydroxybenzoic acids are inactive form, but salicylic acid is para isomer, so it produces intermolecular hydrogen bonding and producing analgesic effect. The intermolecular hydrogen bonding of para isomer enhances the water solubility. If it is para isomer, it will increase the water solubility. At the same time, decrease in liquid solubility for antipyrine, but opposite for salicylic acid. So if it is para isomer, decrease water solubility, increase lipid solubility for salicylic acid. Because of lower partition coefficient, para isomer has low antibacterial activity. So here we come to know that some effect of hydrogen bonding. Some properties are disturbing or affecting the hydrogen bonding. So what are the properties? So one is boiling point and melting point. This is in this boiling point. If it is more boiling point, so it will break the bond. So it will affect the hydrogen bonding. Melting point. If it is low melting point compound, it's not possible to form bond. So it is affecting the hydrogen bonding. Water soluble. So easily water soluble compounds cannot form hydrogen bonding. Initially it will form hydrogen bond, but not in stable form. Strength of acids. So if it is most acids, not possible to form hydrogen bonding. Spectroscopic properties. So like NMR, IR, mass, this type of spectroscopic properties containing compounds not possible to form hydrogen bonding. Surface tension and viscosity. If it is more viscous, so it will affect the hydrogen bonding. Surface tension. If it is surface tension more, it will affect the hydrogen bonding. Biological product like serum, Some injection form of drugs not possible in the hydrogen bonding. So drug receptor interaction. So if a drug formation with the receptor maybe it produce affect the pharmacological activity. So it will not possible for hydrogen bonding. Next heading is protein binding. So nothing but here protein plus drug to form protein drug complex. This is a reversible binding of protein with a non-specific and non-functional site of the body protein without showing any biological effect is called as protein binding. So we have some protein. So externally we have to apply some protein. So the both protein it will bind is a non-specific, non-functional site on the body. So not specific part, not specific protein without showing any biological activity is called protein binding. So depending on the drug in nature, there may be weak acid, strong acid, base or neutral. It can bind with a single blood protein to form multiple proteins. So maybe strong acid, weak acid, base or neutral. This type of drugs can bind with a single blood protein to produce multiple proteins such as serum albumin, acid glycoprotein or lipid protein complex. The most of protein involved in binding of drug is albumin, which comprises more than half of the blood protein. So albumin is one of the most important or most significant protein involved in protein binding. So protein binding values are not normally given as the percentage. So we have to calculate by use of some calculation. So total plasma concentration of drug is bound with all plasma protein. So we have given some equation format. Free drug bind with free protein to form drug protein complex. This is one of the reversible process. Maybe a drug protein complex may be dissociated to form free drug and free protein. So we can calculate by using the formula total plasma concentration dt equal to df plus dp. This is the formula to calculate the protein binding. So next one is chelation or complexation. So name itself we come to know that complex formation. So complexation. So chelation another name is called complexation. So complex of drug molecules cannot cross the neutral membrane barriers. They render the drug biological ineffectively. So nothing but here. So pure drug, complex drug. This complex drug is not possible to cross the membrane blood-brain membrane. So they render the biological actively inactive form. So pure drug only it is possible to cross the blood-brain barrier and produce effective. If it is this is a complex formation drug, this type of drugs not possible to cross and not produce pharmacological effect. The rate of absorption is proportional to the concentration of free drug molecule. So if it is absorbed, so it depends on the concentration of free drug molecules. That means diffusion of drug. Due to the reversible of complexation between equilibrium between free drug and drug complex. So once again, due to the reversibility of the complexation, they always exist in equilibrium between free drug and drug complex. This may be presented by drug plus complexing agent to form drug complex. This is a reversible one. So complexation reduces the rate of absorption of drug, but not affect the availability of drug. Okay. So complexation may be rate of absorption may be decrease of drug, but not availability of drug. Complex results it produced to form from donor acceptor mechanism or Lewis acid base reaction. So this complex formation, so how we can get from donor acceptor mechanism and Lewis acid mechanism. So this is a simple logic. Since complex drugs cannot cross the membrane, they reduce the rate of absorption of drug. Already discussed that pure drug only can possible to the membrane. Complex drug not possible to cross the membrane. Reduce the rate of absorption of drug. The compounds that are obtained by donating electrons to metal ions to form chelates. So here chelate, what is the meaning of chelate? Nothing but here the compounds that are obtained by donating electrons to the metal ions. So it's called chelates. The compound that are capable of forming a ring structure with metal atoms are termed as ligand. So here now ligand nothing but here bond between compound and metal atoms to form ring structure. This is called ligand. So I have example I have given here glycine anion complexing with copper to form glycine complex copper complex. The stability of constant reflects the strength of interaction. Larger the constant, the greater the stability. So we can determine by using the formula complex divided by glycine and copper. So formation of complex is called chelate. So formation of ring structure between compound and metal ion between one bond, that is called ligand. So here I have to give some importance of chelates by using the medicine. So here antidote for metal poisoning. So dimercaprol is a chelating agent mainly used for lead poisoning, as well as penicillamine is an effective antidote for the treatment of copper poisoning because it forms water soluble chelate with copper and other metal ions. So another example is 8-hydroxyquinoline is an active S antimicrobial and antifungal agent by complexing with iron or copper. So here main is activity produced by formation of complex with metal ions. So thank you to all. These three topics are very easy, and we can produce more example with this. Today 3 is enough. Tomorrow, that means next class, we'll see another 3. So totally we have 9 physical properties. First 3 last class we discussed. Next 3 now we discussed. Last 3 we'll discuss tomorrow. So once we complete the physical properties, it's very easy to remember for further topics. So these physical properties, how it is affecting the biological action. If it is ionized form, if it is unionized form, maybe affect the physical properties in biological action. Solubility, if it is soluble, what will happen? If it is insoluble, what will happen? If it is protein binding with the drug, what will happen? So these are the relation between the biological activity. It will increase or decrease. So you have to study about physical properties before entering the drugs. So next 4 units we have drugs, ANS, CNS, all those things. So you have to study. Before that, basic knowledge. These are the basic knowledge of physical properties. Once we know that, we'll easily remember all those things. So thank you to all. So don't forget, please go through today itself. Take notes. I'll give you some reference books name and possible page number also. So if it is page number, no, you have to refer. You can go for internet, you go for some reference books, you take notes. So if you are taking notes, you will increase the ability to reference capacity. If you have reference capacity, you don't mind about only one book. You will get number of points. You will get more knowledge. So please go through once and take notes from different books. So thank you to all. We'll see in this class.